Okay, so here's part 2 of the 10 pets that we've had in our lives. I'm going to get started. So number 8 on my list is Rita. So Rita was a Belgian Shepherd that we had gotten before I was born. My mom and dad found her at a property that they had owned. And she had no collar on her and no place to go, so they took her in. Even though my dad's not much of a dog person, my mom just wanted to take the dog because she likes to help animals. So I don't know if I told you guys this before, but most of the animals I had growing up were strays. Like, we had a couple stray dogs. We actually have a stray dog. We had a couple stray dogs and a couple stray cats. We had like a bunch of stray cats growing up. So yeah, so Rita was a stray. Rita was such a sweet dog. She was so soft and fluffy. And when I was little, I used to pretend that Rita was Rex's mom, even though he was a different breed of dog. And Mr. Knucklehead was Rita's husband, and Sam and Rex was their dog. It was so weird. I don't know. Rex is their son. I don't know why. It was so weird. Anyway, Rita was so sweet. I loved her so much. But she was a great dog. She was so soft and furry. She was black and she had pointy ears. And then she was so fluffy and soft. And she was a pretty big dog. I really liked her. She never licked like Mr. Knucklehead, but I really loved how soft she was. My mom loved to take her hiking and stuff. She was so sweet. And then when I was in 4th grade, a couple months after we had lost my grandpa, we noticed that she was getting all old and acting weird. And it was really time for her to go. It was really sad to say goodbye, because Rita was one of my favorite doggies. Especially a lot of my friends who have met Rita really loved her too. She was so sweet. And that was when I was in the year I was about to finish 4th grade. We had to put her to sleep. Number 9 on my list would have to be Keely. Now, Keely was a black and white cat, a white and black cat. We got her from someone whose cat just had kittens. And my mom let me and my sister each get a kitten. So I got the black and white one, and we named her Keely. She was so sweet. I loved Keely. I'd let her sleep in my room, and she'd sleep in my bed with me. And she loved it when I tickled her chin and pet her on her back. And she was such a sweet kitty cat. I loved her so much. Like, I'd always feed her, and I always checked her water and made sure she had enough food and water. She was so sweet. And I kept her in my room for a while, along with her sister, who is also a cat, along with her sister, until she started to pee in my room, especially when we had a cat box. She still peed in my room. Like, she peed in my yarn one time, and we had to throw all my yarn out, which kind of stinks because yarn's expensive. Sorry, I keep coughing. I have a tickle in my throat. And I loved her so much. I loved when she'd play with my yarn sometimes. It was so funny. And she'd play with like little toy fishes. It was so funny. And she was such a cute kitty. And she had one time I went out and looked for her in rain and looked for her, and then she comes and jumps into my arms because she hated the rain. Oh, poor kitty. And she was almost soaked. One time she fell in the hot tub, which was kind of funny. Even though cats don't like water, it was still a little funny how she fell in the hot tub. I remember she had a bite on her leg, and I took good care of it. I gave her some wet cat food, and I took care of the really bad bite that she had on her leg. And I'd pet her to calm her down. And I had her until I was my senior year in high school. she had disappeared like the first week of March. I gave her a hug, let her run outside, and then she had not come back in. And then this was like after I was getting used to this was a couple months after I was getting used to letting her out all the time. Because when we first got Keely and Smokey, I would never let them out, and then my mom finally said it was time to let them out or she was going to get rid of them. And I was like, really didn't want them to go, so I just let them out. So, because they were outdoor cats and they liked being outside. I loved Keely and Smokey so much. Keely so much. And the last time I let her out, she didn't come back in. And so neither did Smokey. And they both had disappeared on the same day, which was really weird. And we went all over the place looking for them. And we could not find them anywhere. We went up and down the streets calling for them. And then and it took us months to look for them. And then a month to look for them, and we looked for them for a month, and then someone had called saying they had found a cat that was Keely, that they thought was Keely. And then we went over to the house. The person came by with the cat, and it turned out it wasn't Keely. And then we never saw her again. Number 10 on my list would have to be Smokey. So Smokey was a gray cat. She was Keely's sister, and this was my sister's kitten. So when my mama let me and my sister get cats, and we got Keely and Smokey. So I loved Keely and Smokey. They were such sweet kitties. I took care of Smokey a lot while my sister was at her dad's. For those who don't know, my sister has a different dad than my brother and I do. When my sister was at her dad's, I took care of her. And then she had this cute little toy heart. I'm going to go get it really fast. So these are two little hearts that Smokey had. One says puppy love. Can you guys read that? And this one says just love. So these are from two stuffed animals. These are Smokey's little hearts. I kept these because Smokey would carry these around in her mouth, and she'd play fetch with these. It was so funny. She loved these cute little hearts. My mom found these one day after we had lost Keely and Smokey, and she was a little sad because she loved how Keely and Smokey, Smokey would play with these hearts, and she carried them around in her mouth all the time. And then, same thing happened. She, had disappeared on the same day as Keely. And then we went all over the place looking for them. We got a call saying someone found them. And then the next day, we got a call saying it was a mix-up of animals. Then we had chips in the cats, so just in case they got lost. And, we had waited months for them to come back, but they didn't show up, and then we finally gave up after someone said it was a mix-up chip. And then, yeah, I miss them so much. They were such great kitty cats. Okay, so those were the top 10 pets that we've had in my life. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry if this video was kind of long. I actually made this before, but I made it into a 2-part video because I tried to make it a 1-part video, but it ended up being too long, so I couldn't upload it. So I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!